All right, we're back here at the Wheeler Center, Wingate and Belmont Abbey. Wingate in the compulsory. They will tally up the scores, and then it will be Belmont Abbey's turn. Take a quick break here on BASN. And now Belmont Abbey tries to answer here, acro in the compulsory. The top, Grace Carroll. Good positioning and balance. And we finish the acro portion of the compulsory. Up next is the pyramid on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Here comes the pyramid for the Bulldogs. Emery Eccles getting it done there for the Bulldogs. And we'll come back. Belmont Abbey tries their hand at the pyramid here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Here comes Belmont Abbey and the pyramid. We move on to the toss, but not before our judges tally up the scores. We'll try to get those to you after the first events momentarily on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Now we move on to the toss for the Wingate Bulldogs. Belmont Abbey have only played Wingate once all time. The Crusaders took out Wingate March the 15th, 2024. Belmont Abbey 255.120. Wingate 225.990. Second all-time meeting between the schools and the first in over 2 years. Take a break here, come back for Belmont Abbey in the toss on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, now the Crusaders responding with a toss of their own. Belmont Abbey expected to do really well in the compulsory. Estimated score, standard start score of 10 in both the acro, the pyramid, the toss, and the tumbling. Belmont Abbey can gain some serious points should they perform well here. We'll take a timeout on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Here we go, tumbling, the final event of the compulsory for Wingate. Wingate also expected to score a perfect SV, acro, pyramid, toss, and other tumbling. After this timeout, Belmont Abbey to end their compulsory with a tumbling of their own right here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Here we go, Crusaders ready to tumble for you in the tumbling event here to end the compulsory. That wraps up the tumbling in the compulsory right after this. We'll move on to the acro, but first few minutes timeout here as the judges tally up the scores on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. We'll show you the updated scores momentarily. Wingate starting off here in the Heat 1 5 elements. All right, let's look at the scores from the first event. Wingate took the acro heat 9.2 to 8-4. Pyramid heat, pretty close one. Still the Wingate the toss. Belmont Abbey a resounding win there. And the tumbling, both teams struggle there. The compulsory total, Wingate 35.3, Belmont Abbey 34.0. So the Crusaders right in it here as they get set to compete in the 5-element Heat 1 here to begin the acro. Belmont Abbey expected to do really well in all three heats in the acro, starting value of 995. Impressive by the Crusaders. They get the 5 elements. We'll take a break here. We'll come back for the 6 elements synchronized on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And now Wingate in the 6 elements. All right, take another break here. Pay the bills. Belmont Abbey up next in the 6 element on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, we're in the Acro starting value, 9.6 here for Belmont Abbey. Take another break here. We'll head to the final heat here in the Acro, the 7 element. Wingate's up next on BASN. All right, we're back here in the Heat 3 7 element. Wingate expected starting value of 10. All right, stay tuned. Belmont Abbey up next to finish off the 7 element in the Heat 3 on BASN. All right, Belmont Abbey to wrap up here their portion of the Acro Heat 3 7 element, starting value of 10 for the Crusaders. All right, that completes the heats here in the Acro. Our next event, the heats in the Pyramid. We'll build toward that after this on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, we're back with you here at the Wheelers Center. We're starting the Pyramid heats. Here's Wingate. We'll get you the running tally of the scores here momentarily. Wingate expected score of 10. I mean, they're undefeated for a reason. Great structure and balance. All three pyramid heats, they're expected to score 10. Let's show you those scores now. Wingate 9-4 in the 5 element there in the acro. Just cruised past Belmont Abbey. Same in the 6 element, 9.2 to 8.4. 7 element also a overwhelming victory for Wingate, 9.4 to 8.2. The totals in the acro, Wingate 28.05, Belmont Abbey 25.55. Our total score for the meet, Wingate strongly ahead of Belmont Abbey here, 63.35 to 59.6. So the Crusaders, they've got some ground to make up for here in the pyramid, and it will not be easy against this Wingate team. Well known for their pyramids, but it's been a strength for Belmont Abbey in past years. This year a little bit different. Starting over with Coach Haley Allen. Belmont Abbey lost a lot of seniors from a year ago and had to start from scratch.
Up next with a start value of 9.5, the Belmont Abbey Crusaders.
9.5 the start value for Belmont Abbey here in the first pyramid heat. And with that, we take a break here. We'll go to the second heat pyramid momentarily after these messages on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, here is heat 2 in the pyramid. Wingate, our first team up. All right, bigger rosters here in Heat 2. Belmont Abbey's turn next after this commercial timeout on BASN. All right, here we go in the second heat pyramid. Belmont Abbey trying to respond and gain some ground here on Wingate. All right, the third and final heat in the pyramid is coming up next. Both teams with a chance to execute after these timeout messages on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Here comes Belmont Abbey. And Wingate finishes off the third heat. Now Belmont Abbey will participate, but don't go anywhere. Listen to these words on BASN. Start value of 10 here for Belmont Abbey in the third pyramid event. All right, now we've wrapped up the pyramids. The judges will figure out the scores. We'll have that for you in a few minutes. The toss is coming up after halftime right here on BASN. You stay put. All right, we're back from halftime. Let's show you the updated scores after the pyramid heats. Wingate overcame Belmont Abbey in the inversion 9-7 to 8-7. The synchronized to Wingate as well. Crusaders responded in the open 9.8 to 9.4. The pyramid total, Wingate 28-8-5, Belmont Abbey 27-7-5, and a running total. Wingate still with a healthy lead though, 92.2 to 87.35. Here we go, heat number one in the toss for the Bulldogs. 9.90 starting value. And Wingate's all fired up. See what Belmont Abbey has as a response. Take a break. Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, we're back here at the Wheeler Center. Belmont Abbey with a start value here of 9.0. They're competing in the first heat toss. All right, there it is. Belmont Abbey will have the synchronized next. Bulldogs to perform right here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Wingate now competing in the synchronized toss. We're in the second heat here, second half at Wheeler. Belmont Abbey needs to score some points here, make up ground. And then after this brief timeout, Belmont Abbey will try their hand here. Maybe they can make up some ground after the fall on BASN. All right, we're back here. Belmont Abbey participating in the synchronized heat here in the toss. Execution here critical. All right, we'll move on to the third and final heat in the toss. We'll tell you all about that after this break on BASN. All right, here comes Wingate in the third and final event in the toss. Breaks are coming here with the Crusaders trying to round it out with a good performance in the third heat on BASN. Crusaders here, start value of 9.4. This is expected to be their best toss event. And with that, judges will need some time here to figure out their evaluation of the toss events. As they tabulate the scores, we'll pay some bills here, hear from these great messages from all of our fine sponsors right here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, now we go to the duo tumbling pass here for Wingate. Wingate feeling pretty good about the duo pass. See what Belmont Abbey has to answer. That was Chloe Parker and Emery Eccles. Belmont Abbey will feature Sadie Hunt and Peyton Lanier after this on BASN. All right, we're back here. Belmont Abbey getting ready for the duel. Let's look quickly at the scores here. Wingate with a win in the Salto, 9-5 to 8-2. Belmont Abbey came close there in the synchronized. The open was Wingate by a small margin. In the toss total, Wingate 26.0, Belmont Abbey 24.25. Total so far, Wingate 118.25, Belmont Abbey 111.600. The Crusaders still have a chance. They've got a lot of ground to cover here. Nicely done by the Crusaders there, Sadie Hunt and Peyton Lanier. It'll be Wingate in the trio when we return on BASN. Wingate gets through the trio. Evelyn LaCroix, Caitlin Keeler, and Abby Harris. Belmont Abbey to compete after this on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Llewellyn, Shane, and Megan Henry knocked out the trio there. We have the quad next for the Bulldogs on BASN. Quad there by Pondexter, Molina, Valdez, and Woody. Belmont Abbey with a counter of their own as they go in the quad on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. About that for the Crusaders, Brady, Andresa Ordain for Belmont Abbey. Ordain, Paige Morgan and Anna Audette. We'll have the aerial 6 element and the open to wrap up the tumbling after this on BASN.
With a start value of 9.55, the Wingate Bulldogs. Competing for Wingate is number 1.
Here's Chloe Parker in the Wingate aerial pass. Will Belmont Abbey respond? Tia Fluellen may have a response to this on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Here's Tia Fluellen in the aerial. All right, break into timeout on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, we're back here. Wingate in the 6 element, Emery Eccles to ply her trade. And when we return, and Belmont Abbey in their own 6 element with Sadie Hunt. All right, here's Sadie Hunt in the 6 element. How about that tumble, and Hunt landing on her 2 feet. We go to the final event of the tumbling, the Open. Wingate to challenge next on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, here comes the Open. Evelyn LaCroix, the freshman. All the eyes on her here. It's the solo Open. Well, LaCroix finishes up one more event in the Open, and it's for Belmont Abbey sophomore Megan Henry when we return on BASN. Megan Henry now in the Open. And that does it for the tumbling for both teams. The judges will decide what they think here. We've got the final team event to wrap up the night. Don't you go anywhere. More tumbling next on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Now we reach the culmination here tonight, the team event for the Wingate Bulldogs right now. All right, Wingate wraps up their team events. What does Belmont Abbey have? The final finale. We'll figure it out after this break on BASN. And we'll show the scores right now. Wingate with a win in the duo pretty convincingly. Trio went to Belmont Abbey. 6-element. Wingate another convincing win there. The same for the Open. Wingate winning at 50.32. Belmont Abbey 47.52. And the total score, Wingate 168.575. Belmont Abbey 159.125. Belmont Abbey in the team event after this on BASN. Here comes Belmont Abbey. Belmont Abbey wraps it up tonight with the final team events. Judges will have a lot to consider here. Can the Crusaders make a late stage comeback in the scoring? We'll find out in a few minutes on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, we're back here at Belmont Abbey. We are in the Ortho Carolina postgame show. The Crusaders fall to Wingate. Score of 244.485 to 233.615. Wingate winning in the compulsory, the pyramid by a sliver, and then the toss. Belmont Abbey did compete well in the team event, losing by less than a point. Wingate with a win by 11 total points and change. Special thanks to Blair Primus, Dr. Rajon Matra, the staff of Ortho Carolina for their support of BASN. For excellence in orthopedics, there's only one name to remember. Ortho Carolina's You Improve. Wingate wins the event tonight. We're in the Ortho Carolina postgame show. We'll take this final Ortho break. Come back, thank the sponsors on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. All right, want to thank our final sponsors for this one. Ortho Carolina, downtown Belmont, The Lodge Tavern and Tap, Sammy's Neighborhood Pub, Stanton Family McDonald's, Catawba River Outfitters, and Domino's Pizza. And thanks to you and everybody here tonight for watching Acrobatics and Tumbling. We'll see you Saturday. We'll stream women's lacrosse at noon, and then softball senior day with a doubleheader against King. We hope to see you then. Enjoy the rest of your night, and as always, raise the red.